Hello guys, this is welcome to the third episode of the Pentagon Challenge series. Um, we completed the second season. We're in October now. It finished in May, I think it was. So we'll head down to see how we did last season in the league first of all. Here's the fixtures. First of all, we started off pretty well. We went unbeaten all the way through to the Sydney FC game away, and then we got battered 3-0. And then that led to a really bad run of form, which at that point we were sailing ahead of the league and they just allowed teams to get back into it here. This here was our first and currently only home loss we've had in the league in 2 years here, which is quite impressive, I think. But these three wins pulled us through in the end. We had to win all of them to in hindsight win the league, and we managed it. Um, by 2 points over Central Coast Mariners, who again were the team challenging us. And of course, this meant that we qualified for the major semi-final, I think it was. So we'll go and see how we did in that. We played Central Coast Mariners, of course, because he came second. And even though we didn't play amazingly, we still got the win, which was crucial really away from home, because it meant that we could kind of coast through it at home with Champions League games around that kind of time as well in the group stage. The own goal puts ahead, and they pegged us back quite quickly. But then two goals in the last 10 minutes secured us the victory. And yeah, let's go over to the second leg. We then won 2-1 at home. It was never really in doubt. They equalised quickly after we went ahead, but then Yaya Sanogo, who everyone knows on football lines pretty much, how I managed to get in for last season was crazy. And he pretty much won us the league, I think, in the end. He was a difference, so definitely in those 2 points difference. And yeah, quite an even game possession wise, but we had the most shots. So we qualified for the final, where we played Central Coast Mariners again, who beat Perth Glory, I think it was, in the other semi-final. A 93rd minute winner from Yaya Sanogo, fairy tale like, won us the grand final. So that means that in 2 seasons we managed to win everything that Australia has to offer in football terms. But now we'll go over to the Champions League. The reason why we're all here, the reason why we are in Asia at all, and I'll show you who we drew in our group first of all. First of all, we drew the Japanese #1 team, Okayama, which I thought was a really tough draw because, well, of course, they're the top team in Japan, and Japan are one of the biggest footballing nations in Asia. So that was a really tricky draw to get. So let's see who we got elsewhere. We then drew Jeonbuk from South Korea, who again, as you can see, the media prediction is first, and that pretty much goes to show that they are the best team in South Korea as well. Again, another big footballing nation in Asia. So then I was just thinking, this group surely can't get any harder. Surely the big ones out of the way. I didn't get to actually attend the draw, if you know what I mean. It just got thrown into me in boxes, and so it was the other team that we. Yes, we completed the hat trick and got the best team in China. Rick, or Total Team Talk's arch enemies, Guangzhou Hengda. So I knew these were going to be tricky after watching most of Rick's videos. So we'll see how we did in the group now. The first game's at home to Okayama, and it was a fantastic win. I mean, getting a home tie in the first game was what I really wanted, to be honest. But then again, coming with that is that if you lose, you could be almost out of the tournament already, because you know you got to go to their place, which is almost certainly going to be a loss. And like with three other really big teams in, we kind of had to win this, and we won it in style. They never really turned up. We battered them 4-0. A goal from Bosna, two from Sanogo, and a goal from Peter Lovenkrands. We then got a very, very nice 2-2 draw away at Jeonbuk. They went 2-0 up, Soki Hyun getting a goal for them. And then an own goal allowed us back in the game, and then in the 81st minute, Peter Lovenkrands got an equaliser. He only really played well in the Champions League. I've got rid of him now, just let his contract run out, because I wasn't too happy with how we did last season. So we got a 2-2 draw away at Jeonbuk, which I was really happy with. Then the inevitable happened. We went to Guangzhou and got smashed. Went 3-0 down. Bosna got a goal back. That was just really trying to hope that we could narrow the goal difference down a little bit. But then they responded straight away with a goal to make it 4-1. That's how it finished. Next game went to Okayama, which was a big game because obviously they got a really good win at home to them, and then going to their place was never going to be easy. And they took a 14-minute 2-goal lead. So I just thought, well, we're going to get battered again in 2 games in a row. Confidence is going to be down. But then the second half, revival again from two, got the 2 goals down, and a 91st minute equaliser this time from Milicevic. He didn't play that much last season, but brilliant result again. I'll take a draw in Champions League any day of the week, especially in this group. So I was happy with this. Then came the biggest game of our Champions League career so far. At home to Jeonbuk. If we won this, we went through, and we lost it, which meant they went ahead of us, and we had to win against Guangzhou, who had already qualified at home on the final day, which again wasn't easy. The thing was, we went ahead, and I was like, get in, we're going to win this. They pegged us back, they were 2-1 off at half time, but the thing was, they injured 2 of my players, and that really annoyed me. It always seems to happen in the big games, as if they target you. So they go, right, well, they've still got a game after this, which if they win, they might still go through ahead of us, so make sure they've not got some of their players for that game. And they injured 2 of our players in 36 minutes. Of course, on that one sub that I could make, like, myself, basically, without being forced into it in the second half. We equalised for Yaya Sanogo with his second goal of the game in the 50th minute. I probably took a draw, it left us ahead of them. But then they scored in the 69th minute and we couldn't get a goal back. So we lost this one, and it was a really disappointing loss. Second fail of the video, they're pressing back before stopping the recording. And we lost 3-1 in our final game against Guangzhou, which left us crashing out of the Champions League group. Again, never really in it. We got an equaliser through Sanogo, which gave us a bit of false hope, but then in the last 10 minutes they showed their class, really. They are a very good team. I don't think we'll be able to view our group now, will we? Yeah, we will, surely. Yeah, there we go. We ended up coming 5 points behind second, so you can kind of say that we were never going to qualify, even if we did beat Guangzhou, of course. But if we'd have beaten Jeonbuk, it could have been completely different with confidence and things changing. Well, if we'd have beaten Jeonbuk, we would have been through anyway there and then, so yeah, it was quite disappointing in the end. But hopefully, we've had that experience now, and this season we'll be able to push on a bit more. A lot's happened in the transfer window this season. I've kind of got attached to this club, and I want to kind of get them on good ground for the future, to be honest. So I've brought in quite a few good youngsters who I've decided to register instead of some good, like 28, 29-year-olds this season, just to try and get them coming through the ranks. And they're all on. They all came from frees, from like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. So hopefully in the future they'll be able to sell them for a bit more, maybe even like 2 million, which would be great for them. I decided to spend most of my money that I spent. I had 4 million budget, spent 2.2 of it. Spent 1.9 million pounds on the experience that Luke will show, hopefully be able to bring to the team. He's had a good start in the 2 league games so far. He's got 3 assists. He's 32 years old, but I mean, his experience in centre midfield. He's our marquee player this season, and he's Australian, which means we can use the foreign players elsewhere, like the 5 that we can register. He's been around quite a lot. Been in quite a lot of big leagues, really, like the English Premier League, Eredivisie, the Russian Premier League. So I'm hoping that he can be the difference this season to getting us through that group and seeing how far we can go. Because once you're through the group, it's pretty much a lottery. Alfonso, I was glad with this signing. I just got offered most of these. Look at that, 19 years old. His stats are quality. From Real Madrid, I think this guy was. Yeah, he played 11 times for Real Madrid last season. And that just shows what kind of player we've got here. And I think that in the future he's going to be a huge player.